Hi, my name is Michael Novello from visualpixels.com, and here I show you fast and effective Photoshop tutorials to create amazing results. In this tutorial I want to show you how you can create a lightsaber effect, a realistic lightsaber effect. And I'm really excited about this tutorial because I'm a big fan of Star Wars since the first hour. I have seen the first movie in the cinema. I was about 6 years old, and since then I am a big fan of Star Wars. So I have to do this. This is a must-have in my channel to show you how you can create a lightsaber. And now let's have a look at the before. This is the image before, the beautiful model dressed in black with the katana. And we want to create right now this lightsaber effect, the light spilling here on the body and on the floor, so that it gives it a realistic look. The first step is to create a selection around the blade here. Let's zoom in a little bit. And with the lasso tool, I'm going to make a selection around the blade a little bit into the shaft here and make it a little bit round. Don't build a hard edge here. And I go all the way to the tip here, like that, and then back to the top here, and now we have the selection. Now there are two ways to save the selection. The first way is to go to Select, Save Selection, and give it a name, in our case Blade. Or we can create a new layer and we fill the selection with black. Now we have two choices if we need the selection again. Now let's create a new layer and let's deselect, or let's remove the selection with Ctrl D, and with the black color we're going to fill this layer here, and we rename this layer here to Blade. Then we set the blend mode of this layer to screen, and again with the selection we're going to get back the selection by clicking Control with the Control key. We're going to click on this layer here, and then we're going to fill that with white. The other method is you can go to Select and go to Load Selection, and you can choose here Blade from the channel here. I have 3 times Blade because I tried 3 times to record this tutorial. So you can choose this one and click OK. Then we are going to fill this with white. And done. I'm going to deselect or remove the selection, and I'm going to make a copy of this layer here by holding down the Alt key and drag it above the blade layer. Or you can drag it down here on this layer icon. I prefer this Alt key method to drag it above. For me it's much shorter, it's a shorter way. Okay, and then we select these 2 layers here and we group them together by selecting them with the Shift key, click at the first layer, and then holding down the Shift key and press the second layer and press Ctrl G. Then we rename this group here to Blade. Now we have a group with the blade layers in it. Because I like to work with a non-destructive method, I'm going to convert this layer here, the copy of the blade, into a smart object. So I'm going to click on with the right mouse key on the layer and I go to Convert to Smart Object. And now I can work a non-destructive way. This helps us for the next steps as well. So I'm going to right now to Filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and I choose a radius of about 6 pixels here and click OK. Then I need 2 other copies of this, of the smart object, so I click on the right mouse key on the layer and new smart object via copy. And again, new smart object via copy. Then we go to the second copy here and double click on the Gaussian blur, and I choose a blur or radius about let's go with about 24 to 25 pixels. I have something like that, and click OK. And then on the top layer I'm going to double click on the Gaussian blur again, and I choose the same this time, like that. Now I'm going to copy that layer again, new smart object via copy, and this one I rename to blade fading glow, and this one I give it a blur of about 70 and click OK. Now, as you can see, now we have a white glowing lightsaber, and now we have to add some color to the lightsaber. To give the lightsaber some color, I'm going to our blade fading glow layer, and I choose color balance adjustment layer here, and we have here the midtones, and I'm going here all the way to the red and here all the way to the magenta, and I do the same for the highlights, all the way to the red and all the way to the magenta side. And because it influenced now the whole image, and I don't want it, I only want that it influenced the blade fading glow here, I'm going to right click on this layer and I create a clipping mask. And now we have this really cool glowing here. And we can bring down the opacity of the layer here, or the color balance opacity to about, let's go with 30% or so that the glow is not too strong. And now I'm going to copy this to all of the blade layers here by holding down the Alt, click on the color balance node and holding down the Alt key and bring it down here and create a clipping mask, bring it down and again create a clipping mask, and again down here clipping mask, and again, and create a clipping mask. And now we can adjust the opacity a little bit of this one here, of the second color balance, to, let's go a little bit up here to make a little bit more intense glow. Something like that. Should be okay. And maybe this one as well. Let's turn up the opacity a little bit so that we have a really intense glowing on the lightsaber here. Then I want to change the color a little bit more, so I'm going to add a hue and saturation layer to this, and I'm going to colorize and bring the saturation a little bit up, and I create a clipping mask here as well, and now it's a little bit more red, and I'm dragging down the hue and saturation as well to here and give it or create the clipping mask as well. Now the lightsaber goes much more into the reds, and that is what we want. The color of the lightsaber is now finished, But for realism we need to add some light spill on the model and on the floor. To create the light spill, I'm going to top layer here, click new layer, and I drag this layer all the way up above the blade group, and I close the blade group here. Now with a real big brush here and foreground color of black, you can change the foreground and background color. You can reset it by clicking on D. Then if you have here another color, let's say red, click OK, and I press D, then the colors here, the foreground and background, are reset to default, black and white. And now with a black color and a big brush and opacity of 100%, I'm going to click one time into the layer, and I don't move the mouse right now. Then I change the foreground and background color, or I change the foreground color to white by pressing X and click again. Now I'm going to change the blend mode of this layer to color dodge. Now I have something like a light which I can move around here. And to add some color to this, I'm going to add a solid color layer here with red, and I'm creating a clipping mask like that. Now I have a red light here, and I can move it around out. If I go in the layer, I can move it around and I can relight the model, but 100% is much too strong, so I'm going to lower that. The fill, I have made a tutorial about this. It's called opacity versus fill, and there I explain how it works. And now I'm going to relight the model, so I'm going to add here some glow. Don't worry about the light spill on the background. This is what we care about in a few steps. So I'm going to add here a new group by clicking on the layer and just click Ctrl G, and I rename this to light. And go into the group, and now I can copy this. I select these two layers here and I copy that above. So I have the second one, and I can move this down here. Here I want to have a little bit of light spill on the leg here, and again I choose the two layers, and I'm going to light the floor a little bit and the shoe, and again another copy and move it around about here. So the lightsaber is spinning light to this direction and to this direction. The light is not going on this side here of the body. So again, another copy of that, and I move it up to about here. And again a copy, and I move it down to here. And another copy, and I move it down to here. And now I want to create as well a light spill here on the arm and a little bit on the face. So I'm going to copy again, bring it up about here, and again, and I move it to here. This is okay. And now I'm going to copy it the last time, and let's call this, rename this to face, and move it up to the face. And on this one I'm going to lower the fill a little bit more, like that, to about 45% or so. Now we have the light spill on the body, on the floor, and on the face. Now we have to get rid of the light spill on the background, and we have to work a little bit on this light spill here and on the ground as well. For this I'm going to select the group, and now I can create a mask for the whole group, and with a soft brush and the black color I'm going with 100% and maybe a little bit smaller brush. And now I'm going with my Wacom tablet, and I'm going to zoom into the image here, and I'm going to paint over the areas I don't want to have light spill on. Something like that. And as you can see, it doesn't matter really that you are going into the model here a little bit, because here is normally no light spill because the light comes from the bottom of the model. And if you paint it too much into the model, you can change it back again. You press X to change the foreground color to white and paint again here, maybe with a smaller brush, and the black color again I'm going to paint over that, and then lower the opacity a little bit, and I'm going with the big brush into the face and going one time over the face so that the red is not so intense. Then back to 100% here. I'm going to delete the light spill here and here as well, and I'm going a little bit into the model, and then we're going around the model here. I only want the light spill on this side, so I can delete it here. And on the floor we're going to work on later. And now to this part here, let's go to here, and on the lightsaber you can remove it completely. We go here and remove it really carefully. Smaller brush here. I'm going to remove the light spill. That here as well. And zooming in a little bit more. And with a smaller brush, going around the model here really fast and quick. Just pay attention that all the light spill on the background is removed. Like that. And this is going to looking really good. So I'm going down here. All the way down. Don't need it on the lightsaber because it intenses the color here. So I'm going with a bigger brush. Let's remove at first this here. Let's finish this. And with a little bit a lower opacity, I'm going to remove it under the lightsaber so that here is not so intense and we don't see this harsh edge here. And now with the big brush and opacity, going down with the opacity, and I click a few times here because it's too intense here. And now back to 100%. And let's zoom in. And a small brush. and remove lightspill. Now this is the boring part here, but I think it is sometimes necessary to show you parts like this so that you I know you will realize that it's a little bit of work, but some people out there think there are a magic button on Photoshop where you click and you have the results, or like a button like Add Lightsaber Effect. And this is not the case. It's all a lot of work if you do something like that. So we're going to remove it here under the lightsaber as well, and I try to catch all the light spill on the background. Now I'm coming to the button, and here I want to be a little more careful. Beat this side here as well, maybe a little bit too much here, and again it's always a forward and backward until you have the right result here. And now I'm going to zoom out a little bit more with a bigger brush, and I'm going to over that here. Maybe I'm going over the feeds as well. I'm going to recover that in a moment. So I'm going to lower the opacity, and I click here, here, and here, so that we have only a little bit of a light spill on the floor. It's not a reflective floor, sorry. So it doesn't matter really. It doesn't matter. You have a low reflective ground here's floor, so it doesn't reflect much of light. So we can remove it like this. And now I'm going to add back the glow to the leg here, like this, and here as well, like that. Okay, and again remove. Okay, we're coming to the end, I think. So maybe a little bit more opacity, so it goes faster. Okay, and if we have not missed something, we have now created a beautiful lightsaber effect with the light spilling on the body and on the face, and it looks really realistic to me. It's a little bit another version of this here. Maybe I worked a little bit more on this, but it's nearly the same. So try to get a result like this. If you create a lightsaber, don't forget the light spill. It's important to create a realistic to show it that it's realistic, that it is there in the image. If you put only the glow on the lightsaber, it does not look realistic. You can see it if we go here as a lightsaber, but it looks fake. And if we get the light spill, it looks more realistic. Okay, and that's it. This is how you create a lightsaber effect in Photoshop. Thanks for watching, and if you like my videos, please subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up, or leave me a comment. And again, thanks for watching this video, and bye. See you next time.